made a video some weeks ago talking about some non-clinical healthcare jobs found in the hospital, and these jobs are really important for people who are trying to get into the healthcare field, or for those who are still studying their nursing degrees or planning to become certified nursing assistants. These jobs are really important because if you can get these jobs in the hospital, it will help you to understand how the hospital function both in the administrative side and in the clinical side. So it will help you because you will have first-hand experience, and you will see so many things that will either encourage you to continue pursuing your career or to actually sit back and think if you really want to get into the healthcare field. So, like I said, many people have sent me messages to go into detail and to point out some duties and responsibilities that some of these jobs come with. So, I've decided to take one of these jobs today to talk about it because it is really important, and it is something that I think anyone who is trying to become maybe a nurse or a nursing assistant or someone who is planning to work on a clinical site in the hospital, if they are opportunity to get this job, then it will be really, really beneficial for them. The first job that I'm going to talk about is a ward clerk. A ward clerk, I'm talking about this job because anywhere you go today, be it in Canada, in the United States of America, in Britain, in Australia, in the United Arab Emirates, you'll find so many hospitals looking for ward clerks. This job is really in high demand at the moment in so many hospitals. They are looking for ward clerks because ward clerks play a very critical role in the overall day-to-day management of every unit. So this is a pertinent role and is very vital for every hospital. Ward clerks can also be called medical secretaries. They can be called unit secretaries, unit clerks, and they can be called different names depending on the country that you find yourself or depending on the hospital. So like I said, if you can just take a quick second and go to a place like LinkedIn at the moment, if you search the term ward clerk, you'll find so many vacancies in Canada, in the USA, in Britain, in Australia, in so many different countries. You'll find these opportunities. And as I'm talking now from the United Arab Emirates, you'll find so many opportunities and so many hospitals that are looking for ward clerks or unit secretaries. A ward clerk is part of the administrative staff in a hospital. So their job mostly focuses on the administrative part, not on the clinical side. On the clinical side in a unit, you have the nurses and doctors taking part of the clinical side. So on the administrative part, the workload has been transferred to someone like the ward clerk in the hospital. So they perform so many functions in the hospital. You can become a ward clerk just by having a high school diploma, and you can also become a ward clerk by having a bachelor's degree or any other degree, but you just need to have some basic computer knowledge because you use softwares like Microsoft Outlook to manage your mails and everything, to send mails. You need to type in mails every day to send maybe to the pharmacy, maybe to the doctors, maybe to a different department. So you need to input some data into an Excel sheet. You need to create an Excel sheet. You need to input some data. You need to use Microsoft Word. So if you know some basics about all this, then it will really help you to function properly as a ward clerk. There are other softwares that might be independent to every particular hospital, but these are softwares that you can actually learn when you start the job. It doesn't require you to have a nursing degree or to study medicine or study nursing, but it will be advantageous for you if you have some knowledge about medical terminology and some very good organizational skills and hands-on knowledge about computing. When you have these qualifications, you can apply for any opportunity that you see as a ward clerk or a unit secretary in any hospital. What are the duties and responsibilities of a ward clerk? A ward clerk has different responsibilities and duties in every hospital. Some hospitals have specific things that they want their ward clerks to do. But however, I will just take in the general ones. And the general things that the ward clerk does is answering phone calls and making phone calls. You will mostly find ward clerks in inpatient units like the intensive care unit, the high dependency unit, the maternity ward, the pediatrics, the medical surgical ward, and different departments in the hospital. Definitely find them in the emergency department, the ER. So in the inpatient department, the ward clerk is mostly the first point of contact between the patients and the nurses, because at the reception you mostly find the ward clerk present. When they come into the inpatient reception, when a patient comes into the inpatient reception, they'll mostly meet the ward clerk at the reception. So the ward clerk will be the one to either answer the questions of the patient and maybe direct the patient to the particular room that the patient is supposed to be in. And the ward clerk will also be the one to inform the nurses that that patient has arrived in the unit. Therefore, the nurse is supposed to go and see that patient and make sure that that patient is comfortable in the room. The ward clerk is also responsible to receive that patient in the system, thereby receiving the patient, admitting the patient into the system, and also updating the admission logbook and the patient board. Because in most inpatient units you have a patient board that is supposed to be updated when a patient comes into the unit. A ward clerk is also the person in charge of maintaining the records in the unit. So the ward clerk is supposed to make sure that all the files are being kept in order, in an orderly manner, both in the system and physically in the folders. He's supposed to prepare the folders and update all records that are supposed to be used in the unit. So after the admission and during the discharge process, the ward clerk is also responsible to make sure that the patient has all the necessary documents that they need during the discharge process. So the patient will have things like maybe the sick leave that has been prepared by the doctors, the discharge summary that will be prepared by the doctors also, and maybe there's a companion. The ward clerk is also supposed to prepare a companion letter for the person that accompanied the patient to the unit. The next thing that a ward clerk does in so many hospitals is maintaining the stock levels in the unit. So most ward clerks have been given the responsibility to order stocks, to order medical consumables and medications in the unit. So most hospitals use different softwares. They might use SAP and different medical systems that they use to order these items or these medications from the pharmacy. Also, regarding the consumables from the medical store, and also make purchase orders to outside suppliers so as to purchase the vital items that are supposed to be used in the unit. So if you are someone who also has some knowledge in supply chain, this might really be good for you, as you'll be able to manage the unit, and this is a very critical role in the unit, because you have a huge budget that you'll be controlling to manage the stocks in the unit and make sure that all the vital items like the central lines, the cannulas, the syringes, the PPEs, everything is always available in the unit. Ward clerks play a critical role in every unit. They are the back office. You might not see them taking care of the patients, but they are always in the unit, and they make sure that the unit flows, the work in the unit, everything flows very smooth. Their role is to make sure that the nurses have enough time to care for the patients. So they take away all the administrative work from the nurses and allow the nurses to concentrate on patient care. However, in some instances, you realize that ward clerks also go above and beyond to assist the nurses when the nurses maybe there's shortage of staff in the unit, or there are periods whereby the nurses urgently need someone to assist them. If the ward clerk is free, then they can call the ward clerk to assist them, maybe in turning and positioning of the patient, or to transfer the patient to MRI, to CT scan, or for an X-ray. So ward clerks play a pivotal role in every unit. And if you go to most hospitals today, you will find ward clerks in all the inpatient units, in the emergency department, in the maternity ward, the pediatric ward, the neonatal ICU, the adult ICU, and the pediatrics ICU. You will find the ward clerks there doing amazing job supporting the nurses in the unit. Again, they are not involved in the clinical part of care. They are involved in the non-clinical part, assisting the nursing indirectly and providing utmost care to their patients. For salaries, the salaries of ward clerks in the United Arab Emirates differ from hospital to hospital. But for someone who has little or no experience As an entry level position, you will get mostly from 3,500 dirhams up to about 10,000 dirhams, depending on the hospital that you work for and your level of experience. Because most ward clerks usually transform from ward clerks to either health unit coordinators, and which expands their role to manage a unit effectively. So it is a wonderful and really interesting role for anyone who is trying to get into the healthcare field. If you can manage to get this job, then it will really be good for you, as you will be able to see firsthand how care is being meted on to the patients, and you'll be able to see how the unit is really functioning. Ward clerks are always in demand in most hospitals. As you can see online, if you search, you'll see vacancies for ward clerks in Canada, in the United States of America, in Britain, in the United Arab Emirates. Recently, I've seen some hospitals like Danat Al Emirat, like NMC, looking for ward clerks. There are so many hospitals looking for ward clerks on a daily basis. So if you need more clarification regarding this role, I can assist you. I can assist you to give you more clarification, and you can even search again on YouTube. You get more information regarding ward clerks. You can know more about your duties and responsibilities, and prepare a good CV so that you can apply for this role. Again, I will make more videos regarding specific jobs that are available in the hospital. I will give more detail regarding these jobs so that you can fully understand, you can fully know what it entails for you to get this job. It will also help you to get an idea what they might require from you when you finally get these jobs. So thank you very much, and there are so many videos coming up. And if you need anything, if you need any video that you want me to make, kindly put in the comment section. I'll prepare a video, and I believe that it will help you, and we'll continue to promote our channel, and our channel will continue to grow, because I believe that you support as I keep on providing amazing content.